to 2017. Fred, the three, doesn't go. Achua, keep it alive. Gary Trent Jr. and Achua right there. Second chance, quick move, and a slam dunk and a double-double for Precious Achua, his fourth double-double of the season.
So, great win last night. I do have a bit of a reaction. I'm only going to look at what I felt led to a really dominant win and why Precious was able to get that drive at the end of the game and really show us how our youngsters are taking leaps forward and how our Sherpas are leading us up the mountain, as I talked about in my last video. Yeah, super encouraging win. That's 2 in a row at home. Thank God for home wins. Hopefully that continues. I don't want to spend too much time rambling. I want to get right into some clips and show you why I felt the Raptors really took out the Wizards in the first quarter and how they were able to do it. And it brings us full circle back to why Precious was able to make that drive. And I want to focus on one of the rotations. As our rotations are firming up, we're seeing some common denominators. We're seeing some patterns with Nick Nurse's rotations, which is really encouraging, especially when we weren't sure how quickly we were going to get to this point. So without further ado, let's get straight to the clips from last night. First off, guys, I want to say stop bitching about the refs. They have nothing to do with anything here with wins and losses or any calls. Oh, wait.
Loose ball foul off of the jump ball.
One thing you can't blame on the refs is the fact that there was no scoring in this game until almost 2 full minutes into the game. Now, once the Wizards scored, Freddie did this afterwards. It was just ridiculous. He made Gafford dance. Oh my gosh. And then this little behind the back move was just incredible. Gafford got into trouble with fouls early, and it really, really paid dividends for the Raptors. He got one on an offensive screen, and then here, P takes the ball right at him, and he gets 2 quick fouls. Now, this essentially won the Raptors the game. So P coming out, being aggressive, and going straight at the Wizards, gets Gafford out of the rotation, gets Harrell into the game early, and allows the Raptors to go off. Pascal got the line 12 times last night, and it helped give us such a lead that by the time we had our first actual bench rotation, we had a great lead. That first rotation included Boucher, Banton, and Yuta. Unfortunately, Boucher still has not found his 3-point shot, which is there somewhere. But it did include Boucher's effort. And he looked great. He made some amazing cuts. Check out this Gary Trent Jr. feed. It's amazing. That was really good. So nice to see Boucher cutting without the ball. And in his post-game interview, he said the same thing. Yuta, great take here. Just amazing. Like, really good job by the bench here. And it's because Harrell's in there early. They're discombobulated, right? We've got Gafford out when they don't want him to be out. Svi comes in for Gary Trent Jr., and now he's our small guy with a lineup that runs through Pascal. So now we got these lengthy guys who can all run the floor, handle the ball in transition, be disruptive, jump up and contest for tips, and perhaps most importantly, guards. Now that lineup was successful, but the one that I want to focus on is the one that started the second quarter, because that's where we saw just things change with young guys on the court and no Pascal. It really was inspiring, and it's what I was hoping to see when I was talking in my last video about this. That our fate, whether it's this year or next, hangs in the balance based on these young guys. And selling away our Sherpas is just silly. So let's take a look at what happened in the second quarter. So with the Raptors up 23-12, entering the second quarter, we got to this fourth combo. We had Scotty Barnes, Boucher, Banton, Svi, and Yuta. And this is all about length. This is all about our long arm monsters that Bobby talked about in the summer after we took Barnes and Banton. And even David Johnson to some extent, given his position. And I mean, our small guy on the court right now is Svi, technically. And yet, if you look at his bio, like, the guy's 6'7" with a fairly large wingspan. So he's playing instead of guys like Van Vliet and whatnot. And this lineup was super disruptive. Look at the harassment here. Look at the ball contest. Just changing shots, getting out to contest everything, really causing a lot of disruption. Just a heck of a lot of difficulty getting anything tight against a small lineup like the Wizards. Just everything contested, and it also led to tip outs. So like, for instance, Banton misses a 3. Yuta almost comes up with it. Yuta misses a 3, and Scotty tips it out. That leads to another 3-point attempt by Svi. That gets missed, but hustle, length, and agility lead to a foul, and Chris Boucher goes to the line. As Alvin said,
loose balls, the Raptors are the first ones getting there.
And this seemed to be the case every time. So clearly this lineup was noticed in the intangible categories, right? And this length and size and disruption is what we're all hoping for. But something else is going on here with the long arm monsters too. Is there's chemistry building. And as I already noted, like seeing guys like Boucher pick it up, but also just running good pick and rolls. Like check out this aggressive take with Banton.
Boucher, and Boucher with the over the shoulder.
Where have you been, Chris Boucher? Back in athletic stance too. Communicating. Love it. This chemistry was evident throughout their entire time on the court. Look at Utah find Chris out of the pick and roll again here. Banton finds Scotty on an amazing cut coming up right here.
A great look.
Nice.
The rookies, Banton and Barnes hooking up.
And keep in mind, these aren't just long players. They're agile, fast players. Like as soon as we get it in transition, Banton takes over. This is where he's strong.
Banton, oh!
As Maddie and Alvin pointed out, guys, these lineups in transition should just go, go, go.
2 dribbles, get right to the rack.
To the rack. Couple all of this with Utah's 3-point shot and some floor spacing like Scotty's is developing. Boucher's will come back eventually, I hope. But then we've got plays like this where Barnes gets the rebound, he takes it outside, and I want to pause for a second because this is an intelligent play. All night, Washington was sending doubles on ISOs. So Barnes waits for the double, and what does he do? Uses that length to go above the double, and please do the honors, Matty D.
He sets up Banton.
These are chemistry plays, guys. These are plays that get made through repetition, and because our young guys are getting reps, we're getting to see these things. Now, maybe the most important thing they did all night was they got Gafford in foul trouble. Who's this foul on, Maddie?
Whistle and a foul. It's on Gafford.
That's right. It's on Gafford. And why is that important? Because it leads full circle to Gafford playing timid. So we were the aggressors last night. And I think guys like Pascal, who everyone wants to trade supposedly, we need them in order to cause these big men who we play against, who can dominate us and who have dominated us early in the season, to get into foul trouble and get out of our lineup. So you want to trade away Spicy P? You're crazy. Anyway, those fouls lead directly to the play that I started this whole video with, and that's Precious Achiuwa, who has been making great decisions since they kept him out of the lineup, played Chem for a little while, and let Precious watch tape of his early season. Precious has been making chef kiss decisions. Anyway, guys, here's that clip. Let's take a look at the fourth quarter and show you why Precious is able to go to the rack. So why does that third foul matter? Well, let's get back to that original clip. Here's the fourth quarter, Precious in the bottom right. And because with massive effort, he doesn't need to come down with the ball, he just tips it out because of his length. He happens to come down with it, and what does he do, Maddie?
Second chance, quick move, and a slam dunk and a double-double for Precious Achiuwa.
Why is Precious able to drive the rim on Gafford? Alvin?
You know, he can't pick up another foul because Gafford had 5 fouls.
So it all comes down to those early fouls on Gafford. So I hope now, guys, you see that it's all about the Larry. These guys that have rings on their fingers, the Sherpas as I call them, are not guys you want to move, including the Goran Dragic's. And that's why, as I've told you before, we've left the precise amount of salary cap room to keep Dragic even after the season is done. So if these young guys develop and make strides like Precious is doing, like Scotty's doing, like Banton's doing, we're going to go to the dance this year. And instead of just being a first round easy win for some upper tier team, we're going to be difficult to beat. And why do I say that? Because the Wizards play a small lineup and their most dominant players are small players. What other teams in the East thrive with their wings? Oh, wait, the fucking Nets. Okay, we are built to beat teams that try and beat you using smaller players. That's what we're built to do. And if our young guys can take strides, we can upset a team in the first round. All about coming out aggressive, going straight into the bigs on the other team to get them out of the lineup and in foul trouble. And that's where Pascal, OG, and an aggressive Scotty Barnes are going to be very, very, very valuable. You do not want guys like Dragic getting shipped out if our young guys take the steps forward that we need to upset a team like the Nets in the very first round. Kawhi, did you see what I said about the Nets? They're going down this year.
I don't even know where you're sitting at.
That's bullshit, Kawhi. Your laugh is
This
stupid.
is Chef's Kiss approved. Mwah!